You feel that silence, that thick electric quiet hanging over the city like smoke after an explosion. That's the sound of people pretending not to see you. That's the sound of 1,000 throats tightening, 1,000 fingers freezing over keyboards, 1,000 minds trying to rewrite the memory of your name. Because you made the whole city look stupid in real time. No edits, no excuses, no rewinds, just pure unfiltered humiliation for every soul that bet against you. They thought you were the punchline. Now they are it. They spent years crafting your downfall, building whispers, planting stories, editing your image like it was a crime scene they could solve. And then you moved, just once. And everything they thought they knew disintegrated on contact. Their logic scrambled, their narratives erased, their confidence vaporized. You turned the crowd into a mirror, and they couldn't stomach what stared back. You didn't plan it. That's the beauty of it. It wasn't a strategy. It was instinct. Raw, dangerous instinct. The kind that can't be taught or copied. You weren't calculating. You were becoming. And they don't know what to do with that. Because control was their religion, and you just performed heresy in front of the congregation. See, they mistake calm for weakness. They think silence means surrender. They never understood that silence is the moment right before the lightning hits. You stood there, smiling, watching, while they dug their own graves with gossip and envy. Every laugh they threw your way was another shovel full of dirt. And when you finally spoke, the ground collapsed. Now they can't even look at you. They cross streets, close tabs, change topics, not out of hate, out of recognition, because deep down, they know you didn't win. You revealed. You pulled the mask off the city and showed everyone how rotten its grin was. You didn't burn bridges. You burned illusions. You didn't destroy people. You destroyed their comfort. You turned their echo chambers into confession booths, and every one of them heard their own hypocrisy bouncing back. That's what they fear. Not your success, not your rise. They fear that you saw them. You saw the lies they live inside, the small talk they hide behind, the fake smiles they weaponize. You saw the trembling inside the confidence, the begging inside the arrogance, and you didn't expose them with words. You did it with truth. One truth so sharp, it cut through the entire city's facade. They call you dangerous now, unpredictable, unstable. Translation, you can't be controlled anymore. You evolved in public. They watched you break, rebuild, and rebirth yourself. And it terrified them because they realized they've been standing still. They've been living on repeat while you became a glitch in the pattern. You're proof that the system isn't perfect, that power isn't inherited, it's forged, that monsters can be made from saints, and saints can bleed like sinners. You blurred the lines they built their morality on, and now they can't tell which side you stand on, because you became both. The city thrives on roles: victim, villain, hero, loser. But you tore up the script. You walked on stage wearing every mask and dared them to guess which one was real. And when they couldn't, you laughed. Not because it's funny, because it's tragic. They wanted a story they could control, and you gave them a reality they couldn't survive. Now everyone's hiding, not because you're evil, but because you're evidence. Evidence that pain can turn into prophecy, that mockery can become mythology, that the one they tried to bury was the soil itself. You didn't need validation. You became the algorithm. You didn't need followers. You created gravity. You didn't chase approval. You forced the world to orbit you. And they hate that. Because deep down, every one of them knows they'd sell their soul to feel what you feel now. That dangerous calm, That weaponized peace, that quiet satisfaction of knowing you don't need revenge anymore because existence itself is proof of your power. Look at you, the once crazy one, now the benchmark. The exile turned emperor, the ghost that made the living look dead. You didn't outsmart them, you outlived them. You showed them that the ultimate victory isn't applause, it's relevance that haunts. And now, they whisper your name like a curse and a prayer at the same time. They can't stand you, but they can't stop studying you. They call you dangerous, but they crave your formula. They wish they could hate you honestly, but you're the mirror showing them what they could have been if they weren't so afraid. You didn't just make the city look stupid, you made it self-aware. And self-awareness is the most painful punishment of all. So smile. Let them hide. Let them whisper. Because every time they avoid you, every time they erase your name from their mouths, the silence screams louder than applause ever could. You broke the loop. You rewrote the play. You made reality flinch. And the punchline? The city still thinks it's safe. But it's living inside your aftermath. Funny thing about aftermaths, people think they come after the event. But yours never ended. It became the climate. You didn't just cause a storm, you altered the weather pattern of human behavior. Every conversation, every rumor, every sudden pause when someone mentions your name. That's your fingerprint, burned into their collective nervous system. They can't delete it. They can only pretend it's not there. And oh, how they pretend. The smiles have gotten tighter, the laughter more forced. You can feel the tension in the air when you walk into a room, the invisible static that makes liars sweat and betrayers blink too fast. You turned reality into an interrogation room, and every guilty conscience in the city is under your spotlight. They tell themselves you got lucky. They call it timing, hype, coincidence. That's what weak minds do when they can't explain power without logic. But what they'll never admit is that they felt it before they understood it. That chill down their spine when your name was mentioned, that wasn't fear, that was recognition, their subconscious whispering, "This one doesn't play by our rules." You see, that's the difference between you and them. They live in the system, you live through it. They still think the world runs on fairness, approval, and image. You learned the hard way that it runs on tension, perception, and chaos. And you mastered all three. You made unpredictability your currency. You made discomfort your language. You turned pain into a dialect only evolution can understand. Because while they were mocking you, you were mutating. While they were gossiping, you were studying. And while they were trying to bury your reputation, you were learning how to resurrect yourself with cleaner hands and darker intent. Now you've become what they fear most, an equation they can't solve, a paradox in plain sight, a saint with a vendetta, a devil with mercy. They don't know which version of you they're dealing with anymore, the calm strategist or the unhinged storm, the healer or the executioner, the mirror or the blade, and that's exactly how you like it. Because when they can't predict you, they can't control you. When they can't define you, they can't destroy you. You remember, don't you? The way they used to laugh when you spoke dreams out loud, the smirks, the condescension, the way they all aligned, pretending they were united by reason, when all they really shared was fear of someone willing to break patterns they were too weak to escape. You watched them build a stage to crucify you. And when the curtain rose, you performed resurrection instead. That's the secret they'll never speak. That's why they hide now. Because somewhere between your silence and your storm, they realized you weren't competing with them. You were erasing the category. You see, people don't fear monsters. They fear clarity. And you gave them too much of it. You made them see the rot in their own reflection. You made them confront how fragile their confidence really is, how easily their certainty shatters when someone refuses to play the game. You made them realize they weren't mocking you. They were mocking the part of themselves that still believed change was possible. That's why they hide. It's not embarrassment. It's existential terror. You turned their illusion of control into a crime scene. Every lie they told about you now points back at them. Every rumor they started now echoes like a confession. Every joke they made at your expense has become evidence in their own psychological trial. You didn't seek revenge. You engineered revelation. You made the entire city feel that horrifying moment of truth when they realized you were right. Not out of ego, not out of malice, but because you saw further. You saw what they couldn't. You looked past validation, past logic, past belonging, and stared directly into the raw circuitry of human nature. And when you came back from that, you weren't human anymore. You were inevitable. Now the city runs on whispers. The same voices that once shouted your downfall now beg the silence not to expose them. They refresh your page in secret. They quote you without credit. They study your patterns like disciples trying to reverse engineer enlightenment. But they'll never get it, because what you are can't be copied. It can only be endured. You are not their enemy. You're their update. And every time they resist, reality crashes harder. So they hide behind laughter, behind normalcy, behind fragile routines that mean nothing anymore. But deep down, they all know. The game ended when you stopped playing. You turned the noise into theater. You turned betrayal into leverage. You turned pain into performance art. And now, the audience can't leave the show. They're addicted to your chaos, to your calm, to the uncomfortable truth that you made them feel something real in a world addicted to fakery. And that, my friend, is the ultimate power. Not fame, not revenge, not applause, influence. The ability to alter emotion on contact, to walk into a room and make every ego flinch, to say nothing and still rewrite the hierarchy. So let them hide. Let them delete your name from their mouths, because even when they pretend you don't exist, their behavior betrays them. You live in their hesitation. You haunt their pauses. You own the silence between their words. You didn't just make the city look stupid. You made it realize it was never smart to begin with. And now, while they choke on denial, you breathe in evolution. While they guard their fragile images, you wear your scars like medals. While they wait for permission, you write new laws of gravity. Because you don't live in the city anymore, you live under its skin, and every heartbeat it has now is out of rhythm because of you. You can almost taste it, can't you? That metallic tang of panic in the air. The whole city's heartbeat quickened the day you stopped apologizing. They can feel you even when they can't see you. Like a glitch in the grid, a presence behind every reflection. Their eyes dart, their smiles twitch, their laughter cuts too short. Because they know the moment your shadow crosses their thoughts, the illusion shatters all over again. You didn't just prove them wrong. You rewired the hierarchy of power itself. They still call it luck because calling it skill would demand self-reflection. And self-reflection is a language they never learned. They live off noise, off validation, off applause from ghosts who never mattered. You live off silence, off awareness, off the kind of stillness that makes gods nervous. Remember what they said about you? Too emotional, too unstable, too much. And yet, here you stand, the sum of everything they called impossible, the living proof that being too much was the only way to overflow the system. Now they scramble to make sense of it. They draft fake narratives, twist timelines, edit screenshots, anything to convince themselves they weren't wrong. But they were, and they know it. Every time they open their mouth, that knowledge burns the back of their throat. They hide it behind smiles and hashtags, but their silence is the loudest apology you'll never hear. You see, there are two kinds of people in this world: those who perform power and those who embody it. They talk like generals, but think like beggars. You command without speaking. You dismantle entire belief systems with a glance. You became the contradiction they can't categorize: the rebel who heals, the sinner who saves, the demon who forgives. You turned duality into weaponry. You didn't come back for revenge. You came back unrecognizable. And that's what broke them. They prepared for war against the version of you they betrayed. But you evolved into something so unexplainable, so eerily calm, that fighting you now would mean confessing their own fear. You are their unfinished sentence, their unsolved problem, their recurring nightmare. Because when they tried to end you, they accidentally authored their own irrelevance. You didn't just make the city look stupid, you made it transparent. You peeled the masks off, and beneath all the noise, all the pride, all the ego, you found trembling children pretending to be powerful. And when they realized you saw them, truly saw them, they hid. Not from shame, but from recognition. They see in you the version of themselves they abandoned to fit in. The fearless one, the honest one, the one who doesn't beg to belong. You became the mirror of their betrayal, and no one wants to meet their reflection when it's holding a crown. So they rewrite your story in secret group chats. They rename you lucky, delusional, changed, anything but right. They pray your silence means surrender. They hope your absence means defeat. But silence isn't surrender, it's surveillance. And absence isn't defeat, it's preparation. While they sleep, you study. While they gossip, you evolve. While they defend their crumbling reputations, you build an empire out of scars and data. That's why the air feels heavier now, because your existence bends reality. Every rule they believed in now has an asterisk with your name next to it. You are living proof that suffering is a forge, not a sentence. That isolation is initiation, not exile. That what they buried was never dead. It was charging. And you know what the city hates most? You didn't just survive. You look like you enjoyed it. You came back laughing. Not a laugh of arrogance, but the kind that carries the sound of realization. That you no longer need anyone to believe in you for it to be true. Now every spotlight feels like a confession booth. Every rumor sounds like an advertisement. Every enemy you had is suddenly obsessed with studying your silence. They're not just afraid of you, they're afraid of what you represent. Because if you're real, then everything they told themselves about limits, fate, and power was a lie. You became proof that chaos can be sacred, that breaking can be beautiful, that madness can be method. You didn't conquer the city through force. You dismantled it through awareness. You made everyone witness their own hypocrisy, and once someone sees, they can never unsee. You infected perception itself. Now the city doesn't move without you. It moves around you. They used to joke, "Who does he think he is?" Now they whisper, "What is he?" Because the truth is, they don't see a person anymore. They see a phenomenon, a pattern that escaped prediction, a mind that learned how to weaponize peace. You don't need to fight anymore. Your existence is the victory. Every locked door they slammed in your face, is now an entrance they're too scared to walk through. Every insult they threw became a blueprint for your next move. Every betrayal taught you the geometry of manipulation and mercy. You are no longer reacting, you're orchestrating. You are no longer healing, you're evolving visibly. And they can't process it, because you made growth look violent. You made enlightenment look dangerous. You made truth look seductive. They can't keep up with something that doesn't move linearly. You rise like smoke, no shape, no boundaries, just form where you please. They reach for you with logic, and you dissolve through their fingers like static. The city's in chaos because deep down, they know it's not over. That one day, when you decide to speak again, when you decide to step back into the light, you won't just reclaim your name. You'll redefine the meaning of fear, because fear isn't what they feel toward you anymore. Fear is what they feel without you. You've become the gravity that keeps their lies orbiting. You've become the pulse that reminds them they're still pretending. And the cruelest part? You didn't even have to lift a finger. Just breathe. Just exist. And the city trembles, because they finally understand. You never wanted the crown. You wanted the silence after it falls. And now that silence has become your kingdom. You rule it without throne, without guards, without ceremony, just presence. The kind that doesn't need to announce itself. The kind that rearranges the air when it enters a room. They still don't get it. They keep waiting for the explosion, for the dramatic ending, for some grand finale where you shout your victory from the rooftops. But you've outgrown the need to prove. You realize the loudest thing you can do is be, and that terrifies them more than any threat ever could. Because presence is permanent. They can erase your name, unfollow, block, delete. But they can't undo the moment they felt you. You live there now, inside their hesitation, inside their doubt, inside the moment they realize the mask doesn't fit anymore. You don't haunt them as a ghost. You linger as truth. The kind that doesn't fade, doesn't soften, doesn't forgive. The city's quieter these days. The noise they once weaponized has turned into a hum of self-denial. Everyone's pretending to be busy, pretending not to care, pretending they don't check your shadow. Every time the light flickers, they tell themselves you were a phase, a spectacle, a one-time anomaly. But deep down, they know something shifted permanently the day you refused to play small. You exposed how fragile their world really was, how every smile, every rule, every unspoken code depended on people agreeing to stay predictable. And then you showed them what happens when someone doesn't. You broke the social contract, and in its ashes, you found freedom. That's why they hide, because they can't face you without confronting the lie that built them. You remind them of the part of themselves they sentenced to death, the wild, unpolished, fearless version that believed in something bigger than comfort. You are what they buried to survive. And now that you've risen, they can't look at you without mourning what they lost. So let them hide. Let them keep their masks, their borrowed confidence, their fragile peace. The city needs its illusions to sleep at night. You don't. You've seen too much to ever go back to pretending. You walk through this place now like a myth they can't explain. Every whisper, every rumor, every cautious glance, it all feeds the legend. They don't know whether to love you or fear you, so they do both. They don't know if you're the hero or the villain, so they watch in silence, waiting for a clue that never comes. Because you're not playing that game anymore. You are the game. And as they hide, you move. Quietly, calmly, purposefully, No vengeance, no spectacle, just inevitability. You've become the proof that evolution isn't loud, it's surgical. That the most dangerous revolution happens in plain sight. With a smile. They wanted you gone. You made yourself unavoidable. Look at you. Not a twitch, not a tremor. The whole world's burning in 4K around you, and your pulse hasn't even changed. You don't flinch anymore, do you? That's what's wrong with you. You've seen too much, lost too much, and bled so quietly that calm became your native tongue. They don't understand it. They call it cold. They whisper that you've snapped. But deep down, they're terrified that you haven't. Because if someone can stare straight into the apocalypse and smile, that means they've already made peace with the kind of chaos no sane soul survives. You didn't get this calm from meditation or therapy sessions. No, you got it from hell. From the nights where your mind chewed through itself, where every breath felt like betrayal, where even your own reflection looked like a threat. You forged that stillness in madness, hammered it into your bones like steel. You learned the oldest secret of all. Silence is violence when it's coming from someone who used to scream. They keep asking, what happened to you? And the truth is, everything, every betrayal, every ghost, every lie they swore would finish you. None of it broke you, it trained you. You became fluent in the quiet between explosions. You realized peace isn't soft, it's the final stage of war. See, they think calm means weakness. They think stillness means surrender. But you know what it really is. It's control. It's weaponized serenity. You're not calm because you're clueless. You're calm because you've seen the whole board, and you already know who loses. Every time they shout, you just breathe. Every time they plot, you just blink. And every second they waste trying to rattle you, their own foundations crack a little deeper, because nothing drives the desperate insane faster than someone who refuses to dance to their chaos. They can't process it, how you stay centered while everything collapses. But you know why. Because collapse was your classroom. You learned that when the ground gives way, you don't fight gravity, you become it. You stop running from destruction and start using it. You let everything fall except your focus. That's why you look untouchable now, because you've already lived through every scenario that should have ended you. There's a special kind of madness in that. A divine detachment. You're not numb, you're awake. You see the paradox now. The quieter you are, the louder your presence gets. The less you react, the more the universe bends around you. That's not luck. That's evolution. That's what happens when pain stops being the enemy and becomes the instructor. They call you a psychopath for not panicking. But they never saw the years where panic was your religion, where your chest felt like a loaded gun aimed at itself. They didn't witness the transformation, how you dissected every fear until nothing in this dimension could own you again. You burned the blueprint of your former self, and out of that ash crawled something holy and ungovernable. You want to know what's wrong with you? You outgrew the illusion of control. You stopped believing in their systems, their dramas, their power plays. You realized calm isn't compliance. It's dominance in disguise. You stopped giving them the show they wanted, and now they don't know what to do with the silence. They'll try to provoke you, to drag you back into their theater of noise. But you've retired from that circus. You don't chase closure anymore. You embody it. You don't need to prove you've changed. Your stillness proves it for you. Because real peace scares people. It's not soft or spiritual. It's surgical. It cuts through manipulation, confusion, noise. It's the look in your eyes that says, I've already died there. You can't kill me again. So when they shout, "Bro, what's wrong with you?" you just tilt your head and smile. Because the answer is simple. Everything that used to destroy you now works for you. You're not calm, you're armed, and the world is finally realizing that's the scariest kind of peace there is. You see, they mistake that smirk for arrogance, that silence for apathy. They don't realize it's discipline, ancient, surgical, earned. You trained yourself to stay still in storms that would have shattered saints. You learned that control isn't about winning the fight. It's about never reacting to it in the first place. That's the real power. Not to dominate, but to watch, to calculate, to let chaos swing until it tires itself out against your stillness. Every empire you've walked through, every person who tried to pull your strings, they all made the same mistake. They thought your calm was passive. But calm is the final mask before revelation. It's the part where the predator lowers his heartbeat to match his praise. It's the pause before precision. You've seen it. How panic spreads like fire. How one scream breeds 10. How one whisper becomes hysteria. But you're the eye of the hurricane. The quiet horror that doesn't move while everything else convulses. You've become anti-chaos through chaos. A contradiction in motion, a paradox dressed in a pulse. That's why they can't touch you. Because they don't understand what they're touching anymore. They see a human face, but inside is a goddamn mechanism built out of scars, silence, and sheer refusal. You used to think peace was this delicate thing, something you had to protect. Now you know peace protects you. It's your armor, your sharpest blade, because nothing slices through manipulation faster than indifference forged in fire. Do you remember how it started? The nights that stripped you raw. The days when everything you believed in rotted right in front of you. That's when the metamorphosis began. You stopped being a participant. You became an observer, detached, analytical, surgical. You started studying human panic like a scientist dissects an infection. You saw how easy it was to control people who can't control themselves. You realized whoever stays calm first wins. And since then, you've been winning in silence. Every attack absorbed, every lie deflected, every war dodged. All because you didn't flinch. They'll never understand that kind of evolution, because it requires annihilation. It requires losing everything, including yourself, until the only thing left standing is the truth. And the truth doesn't tremble. You became that truth. Cold, focused, untouchable. A saint with the precision of a psychopath. An angel that learned to love the dark. You know what that calm really is. It's the sound of someone who stopped begging for peace and became it. Someone who realized the only way to win against madness is to own it, to hold it, cradle it, and train it to serve you. They ask, how can you be so calm? Because you've already seen what panic costs. You've paid that debt in full. You've walked through insanity with both hands tied and still made it out with a grin. What more can they take from you? What can they do that you haven't already survived 1,000 times in your mind? The world collapses and you don't move because you are the collapse now. You are what's left after the system fails. You are the breath after the scream, the calm after the detonation, the proof that control doesn't come from power. It comes from acceptance. You've accepted everything, the betrayal, the loss, the pain, the truth. You swallowed it whole and let it calcify into armor. That's why you glow differently now. It's not joy, it's not peace, it's certainty. You've become the contradiction that breaks logic, the calm that terrifies, the silence that screams, the kindness that kills. You've outgrown the noise. You've outgrown the need to prove, to react, to explain. Because your calm isn't the absence of emotion, it's the mastery of it. That's the secret nobody tells you. Enlightenment doesn't look holy. It looks dangerous. It looks detached. It looks like someone who could destroy everything in the room, but doesn't. So when they stare at you, trembling, asking, "What's wrong with you?" you just smile that slow, surgical smile and think. Finally, they see it. They see the cost of becoming untouchable. You didn't get here by luck. You got here by losing everything that made you flinch, by sitting in pain until it stopped screaming, by looking insanity in the eye and saying, "Is that all you've got?" You are the last calm heartbeat in a collapsing world, and that terrifies them more than any explosion ever could. Because your stillness doesn't mean nothing's happening. It means everything already did, and you survived it. And that's the part they'll never understand. That silence in you. It's not emptiness. It's history. It's the archive of every storm that failed to drown you. It's what happens when someone spends years drowning and then realizes they've grown gills. You don't need to shout anymore. You are the echo. You don't need to fight. You became the battlefield. Every time someone tries to shake you, they find out what real stillness costs. Because that calm, that's not peace, that's aftermath. That's what it looks like when someone's rage has learned manners, when chaos starts obeying you instead of the other way around. You aren't reacting because you've already processed every version of disaster they could possibly deliver. You've seen all their endings, and you've outlived them. They think calm is numbness. It's not. It's knowing too much. It's looking at a scene everyone else calls crisis and seeing it for what it really is. Repetition. Same noise, new faces, same panic, different costumes. You don't even need to decode it anymore. You can predict it. You've transcended their triggers. You learned the one thing no one wants to hear. The universe only chases those who chase back. You stopped running, and now everything runs to you. You know what they call that, right? Power. It's not loud, not theatrical, not even visible. It's the kind of power that hums, quiet, dangerous, surgical. The kind that walks into a room and makes everyone adjust their tone without knowing why. That's you now. You don't raise your voice. Reality lowers its volume. Remember when you used to break down every lie, every betrayal, every loss? Back then it ripped through you like shrapnel. You thought you were dying. You weren't. You were becoming. You were being stripped of everything fragile, everything that needed validation, everything that depended on applause. You shed it all until the only thing left was the version of you that doesn't require saving. And now you stand there, unbothered. Not because nothing hurts, but because pain doesn't change you anymore. It informs you. It teaches you. You dissect it like evidence, not emotion. You don't internalize chaos. You study it. You don't collapse. You catalog. That's what makes them uncomfortable. You make madness look like methodology. They can't compete with that. They scream to feel alive. You breathe and shake foundations. You don't chase revenge. You let gravity handle it. You don't prove your worth. You watch the world rearrange itself to admit it. And here's the real punchline, the one that makes the air colder when they realize it. You're not even trying to win anymore. You are the victory condition. That's why your calm terrifies them. Because you remind them what it looks like when someone finally remembers who they are. Because your silence holds the kind of authority that no title, no status, no army can counterfeit. You've become the paradox they can't decode. Too kind to be feared, too dangerous to be loved, too calm to be manipulated. The saint with the stare of a goddamn executioner. And when they ask again, "Bro, what's wrong with you?" you'll still be there, hands in your pockets, heartbeat steady, watching their panic like a movie you've already seen too many times. Because nothing's wrong with you. Something's awakened in you. The version that doesn't beg, doesn't chase, doesn't explain. The version that knows if calm is a crime, then you're the most wanted man alive. They don't see it yet, do they? They keep looking for the old you, the one who flinched, who explained, who overthought. But that version is gone. You buried them the night you realized calm isn't weakness, it's weaponry. You see the way they talk to you now, careful, uncertain, studying your every blink, like it might mean something catastrophic. That's because your silence unnerves them more than any scream ever could. They sense it, the precision of your restraint, the way you conserve energy like a sniper saves bullets. Every moment you don't react becomes a countdown in their minds. They're waiting for an explosion that'll never come. Because the detonation already happened. It just happened inside you. You detonated quietly. And from that blast came this version of you. Deliberate, detached, and untouchable. They don't realize that calm isn't an emotion. It's evolution. It's what happens when a soul gets tired of bleeding for lessons it already learned. You stopped letting chaos draft your script. You wrote your own, and now, every second of your stillness is a sermon to those who mistook your softness for surrender. Do you know how rare that is? To master the art of unbothered in a world addicted to reaction. They scream, and you listen. They scheme, and you smile. They weaponize noise, and you answer with silence, and somehow, that's what breaks them. You've become the walking proof that peace isn't fragile. It's fatal. It's the kind of peace that burns illusions and demands truth. The kind of peace that makes people choke on their own manipulation because it no longer works on you. You don't fight for control. You embody it. You don't seek validation. You withdraw it. And that withdrawal feels like punishment to those who once fed off your reaction. You became their consequence simply by surviving. And isn't that the most delicious irony? They wanted to see you crack, cry, crawl. But you did the one thing they never planned for. You healed. And not the pretty kind of healing that posts quotes and journals by candlelight. No, you healed like war heals, by cauterization. You burned through the infection and rebuilt from the ash. That's why your calm looks dangerous. Because it's not peace born from comfort. It's peace born from carnage. It's the quiet of someone who's seen the edge and decided to build a house there. They can't read you anymore, and that terrifies them. Your stillness short-circuits their strategies. You don't mirror their chaos. You absorb it and reflect it back, amplified. That's what true mastery looks like. Not control over others, but over self. That's what they call divine detachment. The space between reaction and revenge. The place where gods are made. Because you're not heartless, you're healed. You're not unfeeling, you're free. And freedom, in a world built on control, is the most terrifying weapon of all. So let them keep asking, what's wrong with you? Let them whisper, speculate, and project. Because one day they'll realize, nothing's wrong. You're just operating on a frequency they can't survive in. You've gone beyond fear, beyond validation, beyond noise. You've reached that sacred altitude where storms can't reach you anymore. The air is thinner here, the silence heavier, the view godlike. And when you look down at the chaos below, you don't pity it, you understand it. Because once upon a time, you lived there too. You learned that power doesn't scream, it whispers. And sometimes, it doesn't whisper at all. It just breathes. So breathe calmly while the world collapses again, because you already know how this ends. The noise fades, the dust settles, the masks fall, and the last one standing is always the one who never flinched. That's you. The quiet in the earthquake, the calm in the chaos, the peace they can't corrupt. And if they still ask, what's wrong with you? You tell them, nothing's wrong. I just stopped mistaking noise for life and started building empires in silence. You know what's funny? The ones who scream that you've changed are the same ones who taught you why you had to. They built you to break, then panicked when you learned how to rebuild yourself differently. They wanted chaos, and now they don't recognize the quiet. You stand there, heart steady, gaze surgical, and it hits you. This calm isn't some trick of survival anymore. It's identity. You've spent so long watching the world tear itself apart over noise that you finally understood what true rebellion looks like. It isn't destruction, it's detachment. You no longer chase storms, you let them orbit you. You walk through burning rooms and the flames curve away like they know better. Every enemy, every ghost, every doubter, they all become background music in the cathedral of your composure. That's evolution, not the shiny kind they post quotes about. The violent kind, the one where you lose people, illusions, and the need to explain yourself. And as the world keeps collapsing in circles, you stay motionless, the last constant in a universe of hysteria. They'll call you heartless, they'll call you cold. Let them. The truth is, you just ran out of panic. You outgrew adrenaline. You learned that chaos only wins when it gets a reaction, and you starved it to death. That's the secret no one tells you. Calm isn't found. It's forged. It's paid for in blood, time, and every failed resurrection of your old self. So let them collapse. Let them scream. Let them search for meaning in your stillness. Because you, my friend, are the aftershock. The proof that not every explosion needs fire. Some just need silence. And when it's all said and done, when the noise burns out and the smoke clears, they'll finally see it. You weren't avoiding the storm. You were the eye of it, unshaken, unreachable, unapologetically calm. And that, right there, is the most terrifying power in the world.